Hi, hello everyone, it's me again, Ma'am Mariel, and welcome to my channel. So for this video, we're going to discuss all about the laws of exponents. And when we say exponent, it says how many times to use the number in a multiplication. It is also called powers or indices, okay? So kapag sinabi nating exponent, meron niyang part, yung base, and yung exponent. And ang exponent yung magsasabi kung ilang beses nating imumultiply si base sa kanyang sarili. Okay? So like for example, we have a raised to 3. So maraming pwedeng itawag sa exponent. Like for example, we have a raised to 3. Pwede din siya a to the third power, a to the power of 3. Depende kung ano yung exponent. Okay? We have an exponent of 3, meaning to say, tatlong beses nating imumultiply si a sa kanyang sarili. A times A times A. Okay? So, in-expand lang natin siya. And for example, number 2, we have 4 squared or 4 raised to 2 or 4 raised to the power of 2 or 4 to the second power. Okay? So, meaning to say, dalawang beses nating imumultiply si 4 sa kanyang sarili. So, we have 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Okay? Then, the next one, we have 2 raised to 5. And, of course, alam nyo na naman kung ano yung mga pwede nating itawag sa kanila. So, we have to multiply 2 5 times. Okay? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 32. Okay? So, ganun lang kasimple ang sinasabi ni exponent. But then again, what are we going to discuss is all about the rules or the laws of exponent. So, marami tayong rules na i-discuss in this video. We have the product rule, the power of a product rule, the quotient rule, power of a quotient rule, power of a power rule, zero exponent rule, negative exponent rule, and fractional exponent. So, keep on watching, guys. Okay, so the first rule or laws of exponents that we are going to discuss is all about the product rule, okay? When we say product, it means multiplication, right? And as you can see, we have here exponential expressions. When we say exponential expressions, it's an expression na merong exponent, of course, from the word itself, right? And enable for us to perform a product rule, kailangan parehas yung magiging base natin. Parehas. As you can see, we have x raised to a and x raised to b. And ito yung tinatawag na base. Ayan. And ito naman yung mga tinatawag nating exponent. Okay? And sabi ko nga kanina, paano ba natin mape-perform yung product rule? Dapat parehas yung ating base. So, as you can see, parehas na silang x. Ang gagawin natin dyan, we are just going to copy x. And then, dahil nga product rule siya or multiplication, ang gagawin natin sa exponent nila is i-add natin. Okay? And then, next is, we have x raised to 2 and x raised to 5. And what are we going to do is to just copy the base dahil parehas lang naman silang x as you can see. So, we have x. And then, of course, ang rule niya mismo is kapag magmumultiply ka ng exponential expression is, of course, i-add mo yung exponent. So, we have 2 plus 5, right? Then, the answer will be x raised to 2 plus 5 is equal to 7. And then, yan na siya. Okay? So, for the third example, we have 3 squared times 3 raised to 3 or 3 raised to 2 times 3 raised to 3. What are we going to do is, syempre, susundin natin yung pinaka-rule, okay? Of course, dahil sila ay parehas na 3 or parehas ang kanilang base, meaning to say, kokopyahin lang natin si 3. And then, ano ba ang rule? Kailangan i-add natin yung exponent nila, okay? So, we have 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 raised to 5, tama? And then, of course, i-expand natin. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kasi nga, kailangan yung i-multiply si 3 ng 5 beses sa kanyang sarili. Okay? So, the answer will be 243. So, yan na yung sagot. So, for the next one, we have the quotient rule. Kung yung product rule, whenever we multiply exponential expression, i-add natin yung exponents nila. Dito naman sa quotient rule, whenever we divide, because when we say quotient, division yan, di ba? So, whenever we divide exponential expression, ang exponent niya is isusubtract natin, okay? So, and of course, dapat parehas pa din yung base nila, no? Kapag hindi sila parehas, hindi nyo sila mape-perform. So, dapat same palagi yung kanilang base, okay? Dahil nga parehas silang x, so copy lang si x. And then, a minus b. So, ganun lang kasimple. Like, for example, number 2, we have x raised to 6 divided by x squared or over x squared. So, what are we going to do is to copy the base, and then we have exponent of 6 minus 2. So, the answer will be x raised to 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. So, yun na yung magiging sagot natin, okay? So, i-compare nyo yung differences ni product rule and ni quotient rule. Always remember the differences of the product rule and the quotient rule, okay? So, moving on to the third one, we have the power of a product rule. So, as you can see in our exponential expression, we have x times y raised to b, okay? So, enable for us to perform this, susundin lang natin yung rule, of course. Itong b, so, i-distribute natin siya dito sa mga value na nasa loob, okay? So, like for example, we have x, so copy x. Since we have to distribute the exponent, so distribute natin. So, we have x raised to b, and then next one is y raised to b. So, ganun lamang kasimple ang power of a product rule. So, as you can see, magkaiba yung kanilang base. So, hindi pwedeng gamitan ito. Okay? For the next example, we have x times y raised to 3. Of course, distribute lamang itong exponent natin sa dalawang yan. So, we have to copy x raised to 3 kasi 3 times 1, automatic may exponent of 1 sila, is equal to 3. And y, copy, then 3 times 1, yung exponent to exponent, okay, is equal to 3. So, ganun lamang kasimple ang power of a product rule. Okay, so take a look at this next rule. We have the power of a quotient rule. Okay, so division ulit tayo. So, whenever na makakakita kayo ng ganitong situation sa inyong mga exam, so alam nyo na yung gagawin, okay? So, ganito lamang. I-distribute nyo si b to the both numerator and denominator, okay? Distribute lamang. So, we have x raised to b over y raised to b. So, that's it. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay? Moving on to the next example, x over y raised to 2. So, what are you going to do is to distribute 2 to both numerator and denominator. So, we have x raised to 2 and y raised to 2. Inilagay lang natin. Okay? So, that's it. Ganun lamang kasimple. And, of course, take a look at this. We have 1 over 3 raised to 3. So, what are we going to do? To distribute the power to both numerator and denominator. So, it will be 1 raised to 3 over 3 raised to 3. And if you're going to solve that, syempre, magiging 1 times 1 times 1 yan over 3 times 3 times 3. Tama? Kasi, kailangan nating i-multiply si base sa kanyang sarili kung ilan yung sinasabi ni exponent. Tama? So, 1 times 1 times 1 is equal to 1 over 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So, that's it. Yan na yung magiging sagot. So, palagi nyo lang tandaan yung product and quotient, okay? So, ganun lamang siya kasimple. And magkaiba yung product rule sa quotient rule. Magkaiba din yung power of a product rule and power of a quotient rule doon sa pang-una at padalawa nating diniscuss na rule, okay? So, dapat lamang ay intindihin ng mabuti. Alright? Okay, so for the fifth rule, or the power of a power rule, so what are we going to do enable for us to solve an exponential expression with power of a power rule? Of course, we are just going to multiply the exponent to the exponent. Exponent to exponent. So, we have to copy the base, x, and then multiply a to b. So, a times b. And that's it. Yan na yung magiging sagot. And then next, we have x raised to 3 raised to 3. So, we have x, copy lang si base, and then 3 times 3. Remember, kailangan lang i-multiply natin silang dalawang exponent. Okay? Then, the answer will be x raised to 9. So, yun na yung magiging sagot. Tama? And then, the next one, of course, copy 5. Ito yung ating base. Copy lang. And then, multiply the exponent of 2 to 3. Okay? Both exponent. So, we have 5 raised to 2 times 3 is 6. And then, if we're going to solve that, we have to multiply 5 6 times. Okay? Okay, we have 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is equal to 15,625. So, ganun lamang kasimple. And then, the next one, we have to copy 2. Ang 2 natin dito is yung base. Tama? And then, multiply the exponent of 2 to 4. Both exponent, 2 times 4. So, we have 2 times 4 is equal to 8. 2 raised to 8 na yung kakalabasan yan. And then, of course, expand natin. 2 times 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 2. Dapat 8 yan, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, the answer will be 256. So, ganun lamang kasimple ang power of a power rule. Alright? So, for the next one, we have the zero exponent rule. Okay? So, like for example, x raised to 0, 1 raised to 0, 8 raised to 0, 2 raised to 0, 7 raised to 0, or kahit anong number raised to 0 is always equal to 1. The base should not be equal to 0. So, whenever na ang exponent nyo ay 0, ayan, the answer is always equal to 1. Okay? So, hindi na natin pa kailangang i-further explain. Basta, pag nakita nyo sa mga exam nyo or sa mga assignment o sasagutan nyo na yung exponent ng number nyo is equal to 0, exponent ay 0 it is always equal to 1. Alright? Okay, so take a look at the next law of exponents. So, we have the negative exponent rule. So, whenever makakakita kayo ng negative exponent, so, meaning to say, nandun siya sa negative exponent rule, okay? And, enable for us to perform it, ang goal natin sa negative exponent rule is to make the exponent positive. Kailangan maging positive yung exponent. So, like for example, we have x raised to negative a. So, what are we going to do para maging positive yung exponent? Ang gagawin natin is maglalagay tayo ng numerator and ibababa natin si x raised to negative a. So, ang gagamitin palagi natin is 1. So, 1 over x raised to a. As you can see, naging positive na si a. So, ganun lang palagi ang gagawin nyo, okay? So, next example, we have 1 over x raised to negative a. Paano naman, ma'am, kapag yung denominator ang merong negative exponent? As you can see, itong denominator yung merong negative exponent, no? So, ang gagawin nyo dyan is itataas nyo siya or ilalagay nyo siya sa numerator. Ilalagay nyo lang siya dyan. And then, ito na yung magiging sagot natin dyan. X raised to a over 1 or x raised to a na lamang siya. Alright? Paano naman, ma'am, kapag fraction? Take a look at this. We have 1 over 2 raised to negative 2. Negative yung exponent natin. So, meron tayong tinatawag na long method and short method. And dito, ituturo ko na lang sa inyo ang short method. Kapag ganyan yung situation, i-reciprocal nyo lang itong fraction. So, paano ba mag-reciprocal? Pagpapalitin nyo lang sila ng position, okay? So, kung ito ay 1 over 2, magiging 2 over 1 yan, okay? And then, of course, dahil nga na-reciprocal na natin siya, magiging positive na to. So, we have 2 over 1 raised to 2. And then, you solve for it. We have to do the power of a quotient rule wherein, i-distribute lang natin yung exponent, both numerator and denominator. So, we have 2 raised to 2 and 1 raised to 2, tama? And then, expand 2 times 2 over 1 times 1. Then, the answer is 4 over 1 or 4 only. So, yun na yung magiging sagot natin. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay? And then, the fourth example, we have negative 2 raised to negative 3. So, paano yan, ma'am? Parehas ng negative, parang nakakalito naman yata. So, same process as example number 1, ito. Same process, maglalagay lang tayo ng numerator na 1, and then ilalagay natin siya sa denominator. We have negative 2 raised to 3. Okay? As you can see, naging positive na si 3 kasi ibinaba natin siya, no? Ito siya kanina, and then ito na siya ngayon. Then, what are you going to do is to expand. So, we have negative 2 raised to 3. E di, negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 yan. Alright? And then, we have 1 over negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then, positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Or, negative 1 over 8. So, yan na yung ating magiging sagot dyan. Okay? So, ganun lamang kasimple ang process ng negative exponent rule. Okay, so moving on to the last rule, we have the fractional exponent. When we say fractional exponent, of course, exponent natin ay fraction, tama? So, like for example, we have x raised to a over b. So, what are we going to do is that dito na natin gagawin yung may square root, okay? So, take a look at x raised to a over b. Remember, ang fraction natin, meron siyang numerator and denominator. And when you are going to put it in a roots, so what are we going to do is to just put the base inside. Okay, ilalagay lang natin yung base dyan. And then, next thing to do is yung ating denominator, ito, dito natin siya ilalagay. So, we have yan. And then, yung ating numerator, dito naman natin siya ilalagay. Okay? So, take a look at the next example. We have x raised to 1/2. So, same process. Maglalagay tayo ng root. And then, itong ating base, ilalagay lang natin dyan sa loob. Okay? And then, itong ating denominator, nandito siya. So, ang tawag na sa kanya ay square root. Tama? And since yung 1 ay ilalagay natin dito, of course, pwede na natin siyang hindi ilagay. So, square root of x na lang siya. Okay? So, ganun lamang siya kasimple. Sundin nyo lang yung ating pinaka-rule. Okay, so take a look at the last example. We have 8 raised to 2 over 3. Same process, of course. Lalagay ka lang ng roots dyan. And then, itong denominator natin, dito siya. So, ano nang magiging tawag sa kanya? Cube root na siya. Cube root. Kasi itong 3 natin ay cube. And yung 2 natin kanina, squared siya. Kaya square root siya. Okay? And of course, 8, nandito siya sa loob. Doon nyo naman ilalagay yung squared. Okay? So, we have cube root of 8 squared. And then, if you are going to solve for it, ang magiging sagot niyan ay cube root of 8 times 8. Kasi ito siya magiging 8 squared. So, we have 8 times 8 is 64. Siya expand natin. 8 times 8. Okay? We have 64. And then, 8 times 8 is 64. So, i-cube root natin siya. We have 4 as cube root of 64. So, just to check, we have 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, so tama yung nakuha nating sagot sa kanya. 4 yung cube root ng ating 64. Okay? And I guess that would be all for this video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. I hope you have learned something from me as I discussed the laws of exponents. Anyway, you can always comment your questions if you have questions in the comment box below, and I will answer it as soon as I read it. So, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I-share nyo to sa inyong mga friends kapag ganito na yung mga lessons nyo, okay? Thank you so much, and God bless everyone.